Welcome to Folding Towels, a podcast for massage therapists with Jackie and David. If you are enjoying our episodes and want to support the production, consider buying us a coffee. Your contributions help us bring you more insightful discussions and expert interviews. Follow the link in the show notes or visit buymeacoffee.com/Folding Towels podcast to contribute, and thank you for your support.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Folding Towels podcast. Hi, David.
Hello, Jackie. How are you?
I'm really good today. How are you going?
I've got a bit of FOMO going on. I've been on leave for a week.
Yes, you have. You've been on holidays with your youngster.
Yeah,
school
with my
holidays
son.
have just finished.
We spent a week camping along the Great Ocean Road and a week in tents and sleeping on the ground. We've had an amazing time.
Oh, wow. That sounds really nice.
And as much as I love what I do, I love being on holiday more.
As you should. As you should.
Yep.
Especially when you're spending it with somebody that you love.
Yeah, that's right. What have you been up to, Jackie?
My kids during the holidays did some acting. They did some acting performances. They were in I don't even know what the correct terms are, but a performance of Moana with kids. I think the oldest child was 17 and the youngest was 6, I think.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and they usually do that twice a year. So that was really great.
Well, we've got some special guests today, Jackie.
We do. I'm so excited today. We're speaking with Paul Averill, who's been on the show before.
Yes, episode 26.
Oh, he's got the number.
Yep.
And also Charlotte Keane, who has not been on our show today, but we have hung out with her a few times. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited to chat with these wonderful folks today.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Paul, let's quickly chat with you first. You've been on our show before. What can you tell us about that experience? Did you love it, hate it?
Well, I'm hoping you won't put me on the spot again and ask me what my superhero is.
No.
The same one. But I had a great time chatting with you, and I love this podcast. I love where it's going. It's getting so much traction, a lot of listeners, and I just enjoy chatting with you guys.
Well, that was a little bit of a trick question because you had to say something nice. So
It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we're so happy to have you here. Charlotte, so you are a new person for us to interview. We're so excited to have you here today. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be on board.
So let me see. You have been a massage therapist for, I think it's 20 years now. Is that right?
Yeah, I've been running my business it's in its 20th year of operation. So I've done all the qualifications pretty much from a weekend workshop in massage therapy to Bachelor of Health Science degree in myotherapy. So that I did certificate 4 back in 2003. So I have been in the industry a long time.
Yeah, wow. That feels like such a long time ago. It's not really, but it's kind of weird, isn't it, that number, the early 2000s?
Yeah, definitely. And how the industry has changed since then as well.
Very much so.
So I believe you do some work with aged care, oncology, chronic disease patients. You've also worked in industries like hospitality and travel and tourism.
Yeah.
You have worked with elite athletes at the Women's Tennis Association in Melbourne in 2021 and 2022, the Australian Open in 23-24, and you're going back to the Australian Open in January, yes?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that sounds so exciting.
Yeah, it is really exciting. And I'm really glad that I've got such a varied work history. So I've worked with lots of different areas. And I really love that. So it's quite a diverse role that I've created for myself.
Yeah, that's cool.
How did you first get interested in massage therapy though, Charlotte?
By being a stressed out sales executive at a hotel chain. And I was like sipping wine in high heels, talking to people that were very boring. about selling room nights at the hotel where I was based. And I just didn't feel inspired in my life. And I probably wanted to do something where I help people. And I think I wanted to be in my mum and a couple of family members had been doing nursing and things, and I'd kind of felt like that would have been the way I would have gone. But I was fiercely independent. I'm the youngest of 6 children, quite a lot younger than the others, and I decided to become a travel agent because I thought, no, I'm going to do something totally different. And anyway, I moved out of the travel industry during September 11th and all that, because the travel industry really went down, obviously. And then I got into hotels, and then, so I was in this job, and I went and had a massage at a retreat in the Yarra Valley, and I was just blown away by how impactful it was. And then I decided that I wanted to learn how to do this with people. So that's how it started.
We do have another really important question for you, Charlotte, probably the most important question for anyone coming on the podcast, which is, who is your favorite superhero?
Okay, well, I had to think about this because I'm not usually into the Marvel movies or anything like that, but I would say Wonder Woman. And I think she was created in the early 1940s, and I feel like women, like let's look at the 60s and before that, they were in the kitchen and they were bringing slippers to their husband when they came home from work and things like that. And then you've got people of today, we're still mums and we're still running families, but we're also sitting at board tables and running businesses. So I find Wonder Woman really inspiring because she showed how you can be feminine and strong and independent and fight for justice and do it with heart. So that's why I like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, perfect.
I love it.
That's a much more sophisticated answer than me. I said I like Batman because he wears pants on the outside of it.
Well, I guess that's also valid, Paul. We'll accept it. It's fine.
Someone with underwear on the outside.
Well, individuality, we celebrate that these days.
You can wear your underwear wherever you want, so long as it's clean. Okay.
This is a podcast. I could well be wearing my underwear on the outside.
This is a message we need to give to my son.
All right. So, David, the reason that Paul and Charlotte are talking with us today is because they are both non-executive directors of Massage and Myotherapy Australia, the national association that we have for massage and obviously myotherapy. So, and we're talking about a really interesting topic, which is the certification process.
There's a hell of a lot of questions about it. And I think that we feel that there's so many questions, and you guys have asked us a lot of questions about it as well, through your viewers and through the association, through the industry. So this is a great platform just to have an open chat about it, and we can just, you can ask us whatever you like, and we'll answer in the best way possible. And I think that hopefully we'll get across the message that we got across at the conference about how important it is.
I guess the first question that we'll ask of you, because some of our listeners will never have heard of certification before, and that's probably because they come from a different association, a different professional association. Can you start by explaining what the Certified Practitioner Program is? And we also know that it aligns with ISO 9001 standards. And why is that important to the industry?
I mean, ISO 9001 is the most riveting, topic you could ever talk about, right?
Please don't stop listening right now. Keep listening.
Don't turn off. Don't turn off. We've got stories. I mean, Charlotte will be able to give a much more comprehensive answer than me. Look, I think what certification is intended for, I mean, it's a national standard in a nutshell. We'll get into the details of that. For me, what it stands for is a way for skilled and professional practitioners to stand out from the crowd and the noise out there in the industry. It's a program that'll be remove that noise of the unprofessional side of our industry, so we can be, as professionals, recognized for what we are doing and what we're putting out to our clients and to the community. So that's a little bit vague, but I think ultimately it's to protect clients coming in. So when somebody books an appointment, they know at the time of booking, before they've even met the therapist, that they can trust that business, and they're going into a safe environment, and they're going to be looked after, and it's going to be professional. It's also protection for the therapist as well. So if they're working for a business that has certified therapists working there, they know they're going to work for a business that is at a professional level that's been measured against national standards, like you said, the ISO.
I want to just jump in with a thing, because I do hear a lot, and this is maybe taking a slight backstep, but I hear a lot from people, and I'm talking about just the layperson, the general public, that will say that massage is unregulated, which is not true. But this, to me, it sounds like that this is another way, perhaps, of massage improving on our self-regulation, because we're not an unregulated industry. We have regulations that we have to follow, as every business does. But we are self-regulated, so we have to adhere to certain standards. And so for the layperson that doesn't really know much about this or has not heard about this before, would that perhaps be a way of describing it very, very generally?
The thing with certification that's really exciting is it keeps us in control of our own industry. So sometimes when you get into if someone else is regulating us, they could also be determining things that we need to do, which they may not understand our industry. So certification and the certified practitioner program allows us to have autonomy and create the standards that will help us be taken more seriously by the government, other health professionals, and the general public. There is a massive need to, we all know the people that are amongst us who are professional and qualified, but someone walking down a high street sometimes won't necessarily know the difference. If there's a massage sign in a shop window, how do they know that those people are qualified? How do they know that those people have standards, that they wash their towels regularly, or they keep clinical notes stored correctly and confidentially? So that's where certification comes in.
I mean, I got asked a question. Well, actually, I probably get asked it a lot, and I've learned to answer this a bit more seriously these days. But when I went back to my clinical notes and a client said, "Oh, do you keep records?" Like, yes, I'm required to keep records by law and keep them for 7 years. Oh, do you have to be qualified to be a massage therapist? Yes, I need to be qualified. Well, actually, no, I don't need to be qualified, but I just happen to be. So, oh, where did you learn to be a massage therapist? I said, I learned that when I was in prison. Person did backpedal quite quickly with a flippant response, but there was my chance to then educate them around. We actually have standards around education for RTOs, and they need to teach to a national curriculum, and there is consistency in learning, and then there's codes of practice, and I am a member of an association, blah blah blah, trying to build this trust that this is a safe place to be in, but it is not a protected title. Anyone can call themselves a massage therapist, and who are the public to know? And I have gone through the certification program myself about 2 years ago now. And I remember it being launched back in 2019. So what did prompt Massage Myotherapy Australia to develop the certification? And why is it so important?
It was developed originally actually by the previous CEO for a couple of reasons. And one of them was if there's ever sort of talk of another governing body overseeing the industry, whether that be a government-led body or a different industry body, if there's ever talk of another body overseeing the industry, that means, as Charlotte said, that body can make the decisions for the industry that maybe they might not be massage therapists. They don't understand our industry necessarily. It can be very bureaucratic. So I think the association originally really wanted to hold on to their standards and keep them at a high level, and and the certification program would assist with that. And also, obviously, as we're sort of talking about, it differentiates us from the unqualified and the unprofessional. I think as a brief story, I remember going into, and you would have heard this because I've said it at the conference, but I went in to look at a clinic that I was looking to purchase, more for the location than the actual business they were doing. It was actually a Thai massage, not remedial, which is what I do. And I looked at the premises. I had a chat with the owner, and we were talking about I was asking about the standards. How do you recruit? How do you keep records? And the records were all kept on the personal mobile. There were no treatment notes. That's fine for, I think, a Thai massage place. And I said, how do you recruit? And the owner said they recruit through the local cafes and restaurants. They usually recruit foreigners, and she'll train them in her style and her routines. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's mostly Thai. I was just assuming that it was just Thai massage that they deliver. And the owner said, no. We do mostly 90% of what we do is remedial massage. Oh, okay. How does that work with provider numbers? My ears are pricking up right now. And she said, oh, that's fine. And she sort of sneakily, quietly smiling said, oh yeah, we just put them through mine. I didn't buy that location, by the way. But so I think the fact that there are parties out there are individuals and businesses out there that don't perhaps know the proper rules, and they're abusing the system, maybe even sometimes without really realizing it. But I think most of them know if they are. That's not making it easy for any of the people who are probably listening, who are professional. They put all the effort into their qualification and continued education, and they make a real big effort to be professional. It's not helping all of us. So it's to really differentiate us from that part of massage. Like you said, David, you can't own the word massage. You can't trademark it, patent it. Anybody can call themselves a massage therapist. And so how do we separate ourselves from that?
That's where the Certified Practitioner program comes in, because that's how we differentiate ourselves.
So there are protected titles out there, not in the world of massage, but someone, for example, with a teaching degree doesn't become a teacher until they're registered with the board. Similar with physiotherapy, you can have a physiotherapy degree. You're not a physiotherapist until you're registered with the board, with that association. Law is similar. You can have a law degree, but until you take the bar, you're not a lawyer. And those titles are protected. Massage is not like that. And someone with little to no qualification can just register an ABN, and in some cases not even register an ABN, just start taking money and providing massage for money. And unknowingly, anyone who provides a massage service in Australia is bound by the Unregistered Health Professionals Act if they know where to find it. And it's not a defence to be ignorant to it. But the standards or the reporting processes of those who do wrong is very unclear for anyone who doesn't know or may find themselves in a bit of a sticky situation. And that's where a lot of massage therapists are. They enter the industry with good intentions, and then suddenly they find themselves getting asked for some strange requests. And this does relate to sex work and its standing in Australia. How does the decriminalisation of sex work in some states affect the massage therapy industry? And how can certification help to address public concerns about safety and professionalism?
There's a statistic that, when we run a survey, that over half of the professional therapists that were surveyed have been asked for sexual services. And that's a sort of a naivety of the public in a way. And it's an innocent naivety in a way, is that they just don't know. It's not clear to them what the difference is. And I think it's clear to us because we're in it. But you've got to give some respect to the public that perhaps they haven't, that the education isn't out there to show them that there is, the difference. And that's why we find this so important, because it's a massive difference. It's a chasm of difference. It's a completely separate industry, and decriminalisation of sex work, like whilst whatever somebody might agree with or not agree with that, it isn't our industry. But they can say in that industry, they can say they're doing massage. So, and I think there are cases where naively a member of the public's gone in for a genuine remedial massage, and at the end has been offered sexual services. So it goes both ways. So it's hugely important.
I think in my career, I've certainly been, people have come up, like I've had phone calls or interesting requests over the years. And even though I am perceived as quite a professional service, I'm still hindered by that even today. And we can't eradicate that completely because, let's face it, a lot of those websites that run like, maybe sex massage services or something, and then all of a sudden they've picked up your number from the internet and they've got you listed there. And, we can't really control that. But we can help. Like, I think when I was at Tweed Heads with the conference earlier this year, just walking along the high street there, how many flashing neon signs said massage, and like there were so many shops there, and a lot of them looked pretty dodgy. Now imagine if a woman came up to me at the conference dinner actually and said, "I'm so happy that you were talking about this," because she was basically like a qualified therapist offering a legitimate massage services amongst that type of background or backdrop. So that made life for her fairly unsafe because people could potentially think that she was offering extra services, for example. And I think most of our members are actually women. And I just think this is why it's not very easy for the general public always to understand where a qualified therapist is. And so this is where certification comes in.
It is very difficult, I think, for the general public to understand what we do and how to differentiate between, someone offering sexual services and someone offering genuine massage. I mean, there's even around here in Adelaide, there's quite a few places that I drive past and I'm like, not sure about that one.
And it's even, Becky, sorry to interrupt, it's also not necessarily just sexual services. It's also, there are massage, let's call it massage shops that don't offer sexual services, but perhaps don't have the same standards that we all have. That's the other little bit.
Well, that was going to be one of my next questions, Paul, was because I know that this point that I want to bring up actually really clarified it for me as to what the certification process was. And so you can probably elaborate on this, but it's really just making sure that, and I'll give some examples, and maybe I'm wrong on some of these, but hopefully not, that the person undergoing the certification process has completed their first aid as they're meant to every 3 years, and keeps notes and keeps them correctly, and has a privacy policy, and washes their towels, has, a clean laundry basket and a dirty laundry basket for transporting towels and things like that. So it's nothing that we shouldn't already really be doing. Is that like an accurate statement?
No, it's perfect. That's exactly what we want you to say, because really, at the end of the day, it's not about catching people out. Certification is about lifting our standards. So sometimes when, if you're doing the certification program and you get to stage 3 of the process, we'll talk about the stages, but that's when you'll have like an on-site appointment with the association, and they'll either do that over Zoom or in person. But this is, they might say, can you show us your cancellation policy or something? And you might have one that you have in your head, but you actually don't have it written down or displayed anywhere for the people coming to see you to see. So that's where you can, you can go, oh, okay, right, I need to do that. Or it might be a risk assessment, like identify some risks in your clinic and how can you mitigate those risks? What steps can you put in place to ensure those things are minimized? Okay. So there's some really, and it can be like a moment of like, oh, great. Yeah, I never thought about that. Let's lift the standard. So that's what we want people to understand. It's not an audit or anything. It's like a lifting of standards. And everyone that's actually applied for certification, nearly everyone has been able to achieve the standard. So you're supported through the process. It's not a case of, apply for it and we'll see whether you get it or not. We really want as many people as we can to get it, because we believe that we believe in our industry, and we believe in increasing professional standards across the whole industry, no matter the association. So that's an important point as well. It's not just for Massage and Myotherapy Australia members. It's for everyone from any association who's a massage therapist, a remedial massage therapist, or a myotherapist. And we're doing it for the good of the industry. We're the largest association in Australia, and we're the leader in professional massage therapy and myotherapy. So we're taking the lead and we're showing people what we need to do. So everyone's welcome to be part of it.
Could you walk us through the step-by-step process for becoming a certified practitioner?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you well know yourself that, David, what it is, and it's actually evolved because I would say that it's fair to say that when it was first launched, there probably wasn't as much public awareness about it, or even industry awareness about it. We sort of put it out there, and it was a bit clunky. It wasn't a smooth process, and there was some confusing language around it. So look, it wasn't the most perfect launch, which was some years ago now. And there were a number of therapists who got on board, including myself, yourself, Charlotte, and that's now evolved. So there a lot of work and time has been put into making sure that if somebody applies or expresses interest, which is the first step is just to fill out a very simple form online and express your interest for being on the program. And that goes off to the association, and they'll be in touch about step 2. But the process itself from start to end is much more supported. There's a team behind it. There are, as Charlotte alluded to, there's templates and resources available to help fill in any gaps that are identified by you as a therapist trying to be certified. Like when I got certified, I'm not naturally a business person. I don't like having to write a policy, or, I mean, like I said, it's in your head. I know that there are risks of of our environment, and I know how to mitigate those risks, but some of those risks weren't documented. And the great thing is I was given the resources by the team to be able to document them. And now there's a firm policy in place. If, for example, I don't know, somebody drops a dry needle, an acupuncture needle on the floor, what's the process, for example. So there is a lot of support behind it now. And I think it's a much smoother process. It's online mostly, so it makes it much easier.
I think, Paul, as well, it's really important to, we're all not really savvy with maybe filling out forms or the computer. Not every therapist is, right? You might not have a strong written communication style, for example, and you might feel very daunted by the process of applying. So I would pretty much say, speak to the office, ask for some help. And maybe there's another therapist in your area that can help you, that's maybe a little bit more savvy with putting a policy in place together. I mean, obviously we've got the templates, but even just understanding how to write the application and things like that. So don't feel, just because you might not have that as your strong suit, reach out to someone that can help you, because it's worth it.
So that was step 1. Step 1 is just expressing interest. Yeah, we were talking about the steps. We weaved out and we're weaving back in.
Yes.
So we talked about and step 1, simple expression of interest, nothing to lose. And step 2 is a request for information. So there's a pile of questions, and you just run through each one. And we're not. I think the one thing to kind of make really clear is, at this stage, if somebody's looking at a question saying, well, I don't have a risk management process or a policy of some sort, like cancellation policy, or even a bullying and harassment policy for the workplace or anything like that, maybe they don't have that. It doesn't mean that they've failed the application or anything. You'd still submit. And then after that submission of all the information you have, that's where, working with the team behind the certification program, you would iron out those gaps, find the resources, get the templates, and fill in those gaps. And the site support visit is the third stage, which is someone comes and visits you, and again continues to help to fill in those gaps, to bring you up to the level. And then, although that site support visit can be done on Zoom as well, if needs be. Just something I forgot to mention as well. So part of so that's every 3 years. You apply, you go through the certification program. You, in most cases, will pass because we'll help you. And part of that is that you do a national criminal history check as well, which I think what I'm finding anyway, especially with my business. So we've got 10 therapists here, 5 clinics, and we see aged care and some NDIS, a bit up in the air now about NDIS though, with the changes. But as part of working with any organization or who has clients who they need to get our services, like aged care, we have to provide police checks or national criminal history checks or working with children or vulnerable people checks. So that's sort of part and parcel of being a therapist these days. And that's just part of this program as well. You do a yearly criminal history check.
And that criminal check costs about $50 for the therapist each year. But you know how we were talking about me being part of, say, the Australian Open, or I provide aged care package services and stuff and NDIS and different things. And what that means is you've always got those compliant documents at your fingertips. So, you know, you've got your insurance and your crim check and all that. And people might think, oh, why do I have to do it every year? But it's a really valuable thing to have every year, and it just creates that extra level of safety for your customers as well.
I agree. I think it's become pretty standard now that, well, for massage, particularly if you're working in the aged care industry, as a massage therapist, everybody should have these certificates, and it builds up such a level of trust. If you can say, well, for the last 10 years, I've got my insurance, I've got my police check done, I've got my working with vulnerable people check done, and you've got that history, and if anybody needs to see it, like, it's right there, that just really means that, nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, but it proves quite a level of trust, I think.
And you said earlier about some of those requirements for certification, like first aid. I mean, first aid is just a requirement simply to get provider numbers. I mean, that's a requirement of being a member of the association, whether somebody chooses certification or not. But it's just an extra sort of rubber stamp to say this person has gone through a process and has been recognised nationally as being covering all of the national standards that we require as an industry, and it aligns a lot with other industries like ours as well.
The association recruited Certex International to create the standards program for us, so it's not something we just dreamed up. And they're part of JASANS, so they're accredited auditors and standard writers type of thing. So it's like we've got great people behind the program as well.
So how is Massage Myotherapy Australia planning to create public awareness about the Certified Practitioner program to ensure that clients can easily identify qualified certified therapists?
We're doing it now because we're having a chat about it. And so thank you so much. It's good to just have a candid conversation, and please fire challenge, these are challenging questions, but if you've got concerns about it or challenges about it, as you've been through it, David, as well, fire them at us. The public awareness campaign, I mean, there's going to be socials for public awareness, socials, general media to be able to make people aware. I think and there may be others that Charlotte can talk about, but I think the biggest and most effective method of public awareness is word of mouth and having conversations with therapists, having conversations with your clients, spreading the word, as it were. It's always been the most effective way to talk about and market anything. And so I think that leaves it down to being the responsibility of the therapist to let people know that they're part of this program and the reasons behind it. But it's just to make sure we're all being professional.
The thing is, like, we've got a program at the moment, you've probably seen it on social media, about find a therapist and read the research and all that sort of thing. There's a lot of a public awareness about that. And I actually think that's really awesome that we've got links to research, because it just shows, why we stayed being able to provide health fund rebates and all that sort of thing. So you can see the progression of what we've been trying to do at the association. One thing I'd say about like public awareness and certification program is that, change, when you want something desperately to change in an industry, you have to look within yourself at the start. You can't just expect the association to be able to always come up with the solutions. We all have to be on board as part of the team, as every member in our association and every member of another association that wants to be part of the scheme. They need to stand up and like lift their standards and talk to their clients about certification to help educate the public as well. So it can't just be left at the association. It has to be a team effort.
I agree 100% with that. And particularly, people that have been massage therapists for more than a decade, yourself included, Charlotte, would see how much the industry has changed. And I feel like we're a little bit of a snowball rolling downhill at the moment. Like we are gradually getting that momentum with a bit more public awareness. And a really good example of this is when I started 12 years ago, nobody knew what lymphatic drainage massage was. People had never heard of the lymphatic system. And now I get so many phone calls, and I know other people get phone calls saying, hey, you do lymphatic massage. I've been referred. I need that. I have this issue. And I think even just that is such a really great example of that snowball of people becoming really aware of how wonderful massage can be and how it can help them, and all the benefits. Yeah, sorry to go on my little tangent there.
I get people like GP officers ringing up and asking us to be part of healthcare plans. Obviously, we can't be part of that, but that's how accepted we are now. There's that expectation even by other health professionals that we should be part of those things, and hopefully in the future we can. But yeah, I agree. We're definitely getting traction. I think certification will help us even more with that, just that whole compliance thing, and people want to do business with professionals. So that's how, if we can identify ourselves as professionals, then we bring more opportunities to our sector.
But the health funds, your Bupas and your Medibanks and so on, they are interested in this. They're very interested in this because their primary goal is, to bring value to their customers, to save money and reduce the amount of fraud. I can't remember the exact stat. I'm sure it was pretty high, up around 18%, maybe more. This was a few years ago, but there was a stat released that the health funds, so quite a high percentage of refund requests came through after 11 p.m. at night for remedial massage. I wonder where they've been putting through from.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So,
right.
So there's an incredible amount of fraud happening. So the health funds, obviously, they don't want that. We don't want that. And so this program gives some credibility to our industry, and so that will continue, hopefully, anyway. The health funds will want to continue to support our industry, which I think they're on board with it. But we've seen what's happened in the past. Things can change.
Another important thing to talk about is that when you start your application to become a certified practitioner, you've got 9 months to complete it. So before you have to start all over again. So that's important. So just don't start step 1 and then forget about it. If you might need a bit of time to get through.
Look, Charlotte, that's exactly what I did. After conference, I jumped on the email and did step 1, and then I've just been so busy, like I barely have time to breathe, it feels like often. And yeah, so I better get cracking.
Well, I hope we've inspired you to keep it moving.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
And the cost for everyone, like it's free for Massage and Myotherapy members at the moment. We believe in it so much that we want as many people to get on board with it as possible. So please take this opportunity to achieve certification. It'll last for 3 years, so it's awesome to get it done now. You'll just have the CRIM check, which is $50. And for any other association, it's $295, which is not a bad investment considering what you get for it.
How have the other associations responded to the development of the certification?
Yeah, a lot of them are really on board with it, albeit that they are probably watching us to lead the way, watching like Massage Myotherapy Australia to sort of lead the way. And that's why we really wanted to initially make it free for Massage Myotherapy members so we can just get as many people on as possible. This is not a profit-making scheme at all by any means. You know, it's purely, as I think Charlotte said earlier, it's for the whole industry and it's for everybody. So yeah, I think they'll follow in our footsteps. There are some that are fully on board. There's actually I think it's five associations that are in kind of a united association group. And Anne, the CEO of our Massage Myotherapy Australia, will catch up with those associations regularly. And this topic is on the table, among others, often. So yeah.
I think we have had Anne Davey and Selena Hogan on the show before, and it was so interesting chatting with them. And I think Anne did mention that as well, if I remember correctly. We've certainly listened to her talk about that, and you guys talk about that at the conference and a few other times that we've been able to chat. So yeah, it's like I'm excited about where our industry is going. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm excited about it. So
I think with certification too, like think of it like in Canada and the US, they have licensed massage therapists. It's a bit similar to that in some ways. Like that's what we want the public to just be aware. Like I need a professional remedial massage or a myotherapy treatment, I'm going to go to a certified practitioner. That's what we want people to think. And you've got like the CPA for the accountants, you've got master builders. It's very similar. So it's just about that you want to do business with the professionals.
For therapists who may be unsure about certification, what would you say to encourage them to take that step towards becoming a certified practitioner?
I'm not going to sugarcoat the fact that it's a process to go through certification. And I think if with anything of importance or value, it isn't just a tick the box and you're certified. And I think that's a really important point, is that by going through a process of this application, you are leveling yourself and the industry up. So it's just important to remember that. And that it's I think of it like I've been in it for about a decade now, just over a decade. I think all of you have been in it for longer than me now. So, but combined, we've been in it for quite a few years. I try and think now, as I've got a team of 10 here, and I've got newer therapists coming through who are qualifying. It's my responsibility, or anybody's responsibility who runs their own practice or has been in it for a long time, to help the next generation of therapists and get them leveled up so they really understand what we've all been trying to achieve all these years. And so for me, that's motivation for anyone who's been in the industry for a while to get certified. You're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the industry, but you're also doing it for the future therapists and your future clients and your clients' children. And think of it that way, long game.
As I talk to massage therapists, the common theme is them wanting to be treated as professionals. And there are other therapies out there who look down towards the industry. But then as you talk to them about doing the steps that it takes to be professional, more than just their qualifications, more than just the people that they treat, and putting into place the policies, the procedures, and there is resistance to that. And my words to those therapists is if you want to be treated as a professional, you need to act as a professional. And certification is just one of those steps towards encouraging us all to be professional and to level up.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's and just to reassure people, there is a team there to help you. So we're not just expecting you to do it on your own. I would like to also say now, if I have the opportunity, and I know I've talked a lot, so I'll hold back a little bit, but if anybody, they don't have to be in Adelaide because that's where I'm based. But if anybody needs advice or wants to pick my brain about the process or needs help along the way, I'm fully available as a therapist, as a business owner, and as the director of the board. So, and I'm sure Charlotte would say the same.
We're in these positions because we want to help the industry. So, of course, we want to help anyone that wants to speak with us.
You're just thinking of your extremely busy calendar, aren't you, Charlotte?
Yeah.
Because
I'm very much a yes woman. So
I have that same problem, and that's why I don't finish things, because people keep talking to me about, oh, can you help me with this? Or can you do that? I'm like, yes, absolutely I can. And then I've forgotten about the other thing. So
yeah, totally. Yeah. I think also any other health professional in mainstream medicine, they don't necessarily have the same scrutiny over the services they provide. And so we're actually really, we're setting a standard just by having certification, that we are open to having someone come into our practice and look at what we do and give us feedback. That doesn't always happen in other professions in the same way.
Well, thank you, Charlotte and Paul, for joining us today and sharing your insights and direction around the Certified Practitioner program. It's clear that this initiative is about more than just a title. It is about safety, it's about trust and professionalism across the massage therapy industry. And for our listeners who want to learn more about becoming certified or have further questions, we will include relevant links in the episode description and the show notes. And if you are looking to stand out as a qualified professional therapist, this certification program could be the next step for you. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time on the Folding Tales podcast.
Thank you so much for joining us, both Paul and Charlotte. It has been an absolute joy to catch up with you again.
Thanks for having us.
And I guess we'll see you, David, next time as well.